Hi, it's Matt, and here we're going to talk about multiplying a matrix by a scalar. So, how exactly do we multiply a matrix by a scalar? So, multiplying a matrix by a scalar is just equivalent to multiplying each element in the matrix by that scalar. So, what I mean by that is if we have a scalar k, so here k is just a number, multiplied by a matrix, that's equivalent to just multiplying the k everywhere in the matrix. So I just drew 3 arrows, but of course we will multiply it by everything, and we get this result. So again, we just get every element or every entry in our matrix multiplied by that scalar k. If we want to write that a little bit more formally, what we would say is that if we have a matrix A and B and scalar k, where matrix B is equal to scalar k times matrix A, each element in the B matrix is just equivalent to k times the corresponding element in the A matrix. Again, I know that's a little complicated way of writing it, but it might be a little clearer with indices. So for example, this tells us B12 is equal to k times A12, which we see is exactly what we have up here. If we call this matrix here B, then B12, which is here, is just, as we just found down here, k times A12. So let's do an example of this. We're given scalar k is -3, and then we're given matrix A here. And we're asked to find Ka, so essentially just do the scalar multiplication. So first, we're just going to write Ka, since that's what we're asked to find, and then we're going to plug in what we know. So first, we're going to plug in -3 for K, since that's what we're given, and then we're also going to plug in our matrix A, since that's what we're given for the matrix. Now, before we go forward, what I always like to do is just set up a blank matrix for me to write my results in. And now that we have our matrix brackets, we can now just do our multiplication. From the beginning, we know that how we do scalar multiplication is we're going to multiply the -3 to every term inside our matrix. So what that gives us is for the top left entry, -3 times 3. For the 1, 2 entry, -3 times -4, and so on. Again, this is what we have in this matrix here is just given to us by multiplying -3 to all terms up top. From here, all we have to do is simplify. So -3 times 3 is -9, -3 times -4 is 12, and so on, to get that Ka is -9, 12, -18, 0. So this here is our final answer for the scalar multiplication. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions you have below, and have a great day.